Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Monday. It is Monday. It's a fun day. Welcome, everybody, to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an absolutely amazing weekend. For those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, click that subscribe button down below so that you get the updates as they become available. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So S&P is down 25 points this morning. So we're seeing quite the pullback this morning in the S&P. We've got a little over not quite a 1% downward move. On the live trading room yesterday, we had talked about how there was a potential for a decent little 15-minute area of reversal up above us. But I wasn't really sure if we were going to make it to that level or not. And when we were doing the live trading room, the market was trading right about here, and we did not make it all the way back up to here for an entry for a reversal. I did state, however, that I was kind of hoping that we would just kind of chop around in base above this 2560 area, because that's really the better breakout trade is somewhere down in here. Now, by the time we get down to there, we're going to be down 34 points for the day, so it's already going to be a really strong downward move, and so that would be a little bit beyond our normal trading range. But that's not to say that it can't continue to move down. In that particular level. One of the things that I always tend to look for is, what did we do on the European market open, right? What did we do on the European market open? And the European market open, we had that green candle up, and then we started a little bit of a sell-off. So if I move down to the 15-minute chart, I'm okay looking at this level to see, is there a potential that we can rally back up to here for a bit of a reversal. Now, we did just have here at little after 4 a.m., the 4 a.m. to 4:15 candle here, Central Time, we had a nice hammer candle that was completely unable to hold. I guess technically that's a dragonfly doji because we have no body. But anyway, that was unable to hold, meaning that we came down, rallied back up, but got no follow-through so far. Next candle opened at the prior close and almost immediately started down. So we'll see if there's enough buyers to reject this and drive it back up to give you a chance to get short on this little level up here at the European market open reversal point. So right back into here. That would be the kind of the next logical level, the next logical area where there may be a decent little entry opportunity. Not so sure we're going to make it up to this one up here. If we do, that would be a decent little, reversal point. I'm just not sure it's going to make it up there. So keep an eye on this 2574, 2578. See what that looks like when we get back to that range and into that zone. Looking at the NQ in the NASDAQ, we are breaking down a bit more than we are in the other markets. It's down 1.3%, so relatively weaker than our other markets are. The NASDAQ has been this morning, and we are seeing that we had two candles where there was attempts to drive it higher, but there was not enough buyers in there to do that, and we're starting to see that selling pressure really pick up some steam. So today, for those of you that trade the daily, I guess it would be session only, meaning you don't look too much at the Globex session. This is the standard that a lot of people use as the gap and go mentality, right? It gaps down and has room to continue to go, that gap and go trade. I don't really do that gap and go trade very often, especially if I've got levels of potential demand below me. But just keep in mind that may accentuate our move to the downside a bit faster as we head into as the U.S. market actually does get indeed open. So, in both of these markets, I'm definitely looking more on the short side than I am on the long side. Definitely have some more opportunity in the NASDAQ than I do in the S&P to get short. So if we do rally back up, this NASDAQ level, 65.51, 65.61, is probably the better of the two levels for a potential short of one that was created at the European market open. And that's that's part of the reason why I get up so early and take a look at these markets is I want to see before it gets too far away from that European market open, is there a potential there for a decent trade? And that's kind of what we're seeing here, is that there may be one. All right, crude oil. So crude oil, yes, last night we had seen a potential area of reversal just above us. Unfortunately, once again, didn't quite get back to our level. We did get a little bit of a thrust higher here right at the European market open, and now we've sold off from that point. Crude oil's down almost 2%, down a full $1 in the overnight sessions. And once again, this one has room to continue to fall. Now, we do have some demand down here where we'll see, do we get enough of a bounce off of that, off of this area? Now, this area is not fresh, so retest this area here. So we'd have to get a bit lower to see if there's any there's any true fresh demand down at that 49.80, 49.51. If I go to, we're on this 15-minute time period, we do have a potential of this area just above, right here. All right, let's see if we do come back into that area, giving somebody a chance, another bite at the apple, if you will, to get short on this thing. But definitely bias is to the short side, no doubt about it. In gold, we are, we keep rejecting this price point up here. This price point up here has been rejected 3 times, but we're not really selling away from this area. So, we came all the way into it. We've come back into it. We keep rejecting this price point. Looking at this, we put in lower swing highs, but then I also put in higher swing lows. So this is a fairly common price pattern, if you will, where I have higher swing lows and lower swing highs, but we just kind of broke out of this to the upside. So let's see if this continues its move a bit higher. My 4 hour is still kind of inconclusive. Doesn't really give me a buy or sell bias either way. However, I don't have a lower low, right? I've got a slightly higher low, slightly lower highs. So I don't really have a clear bias one way or the other. So I'd be okay if we do get the right setup for a breakout long. Right now, I haven't quite gotten it yet, but it does look like indeed we may be putting that setup in right above here for a potential breakout long. So keep that area in mind somewhere today. That looks like a double bottom price pattern. Now, clearly that's not a double bottom, because double bottoms have to occur in more clear markets, more clear trending directions. But we definitely have, double bottoms are best characterized by slightly higher second swing lows. Next, moving over to our bond markets. Now, in our bond markets last night, we actually hit our 15-minute entry criteria as we were in our live trading room. But one of the things that we talk about is, what does it do after 6 candlesticks? Do we get our move after 6 candles? So in this bond trade, when our 6 candlestick rule does come into a play, we'd entered that position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So essentially the market, it did absolutely nothing after 6 candlesticks on the 15-minute. Now, we did get a little bit of a pull away a bit later, but knowing that there wasn't a whole lot that was happening, that was really why we talked about that last night. And you can see that in here, right? We have really almost no movement on the hourly chart. So this level, not a strong entrance into this level, and then so this tells me, okay, what could be the play? Well, the play might actually be a bullish maneuver now to get long on bonds if we break above this wick over wick area. Right now, we had taken that level in the first place because of this wick over wick area on the hourly chart. So we have to get above that little wick over wick level before you'd be willing to take a long. But the basing in front of the level gives us a little bit of clean air up to here. Right now, our stop would have to go below here, which is the prior pivot. So by having that long lower wick, by getting a little bit of a move away, we actually put the pivot at a place that it's a pretty nice place in order to get long when price comes out of here. All right, in the Aussie. So in the Aussie, we had talked about a breakdown below this area here last night. We've been unable to do that. And that breakout is off of this little bit of basing right through here. So let's see if that one continues to move so far today. If that does break down, your first target, you've got price can run all the way down to here. Although on a 2-to-1 reward to risk, I would look to take a little profit. In the euro, we talked about, do we get short below this area in here? Technically, your short wants to should be below the wick here. But if you want to take this little level, we're just kind of chopping around it. Our pivot isn't until way the heck up here, though, right? This isn't a true pivot, like our other breakout levels were. It's a well, I guess it's a bit of a reversal. So your stop, could be up here at the weakest. You might even want to go up above this candle's wick. So, giving that one a bit of time. The Canadian dollar, we were definitely basing in front of a level that we had identified in the Canadian. So in the Canadian, we had this up here as a level, and price just really was chopping in front of it. And so since we're chopping in front of it, we would look for some sort of a reversal to the downside in the Canadian. And that Canadian dollar level, that we had talked about last night was, okay, if we retest this area up here, this could be an opportunity to get short. Now, we didn't quite make it all the way back to here, but we are already, coming down out of it. So if you didn't get short but want to, I think below 75, this area right here, this 75, 412 area could be an opportunity to get short as we're just kind of chopping and basing inside of there. Great British Pound and Japanese Yen were both in some strong sideways price patterns yesterday that didn't really give us much tradable opportunity, as it's just kind of hitting around, nothing happening really on that one worthwhile. Japanese Yen as well has done really nothing since we looked at it last night in the live trading room, so nothing really there to address. It's just really just in a sideways price action, overall. In copper, we did have this little level right in here, and we did break down below that level. I know a couple of you out there are trading the copper markets. So if you're trading copper, your breakdown has met entry. We're getting a little bit of movement away. Your stop has to go above this pivot, right? We have this little pivot right here. Would have to be above that area up in there. And so you've got a little bit of wiggle room, if you will, a little bit of a room, and you've got a little bit of room to roam. First target somewhere, down in this range. You ultimately want to make it down to 842 would be 58.42 would be the ultimate target and place to go. So be on the lookout for today. There's a good chance that we're going to continue to get a pretty strong pullback throughout the day. I'm looking for a little bit of a rally for a reason to get short. I don't really have it yet, but a little bit of a rally for a reason to get short would be ideal, so that I'm not just jumping in and chasing. Do not chase markets, right? When you chase markets is when you really take the most heat, and so I'm not going to be looking to chase this thing. I'm going to be looking to get short when the market gives me good, solid reasons to do so. And so there's a couple of turning points up above us that we can look for. And if you can't get in on the S&P, you may have opportunities in gold or in crude. Also in the bond markets as well. So keep an eye on that for today. I hope everybody has an absolutely amazing trading day. For those of you that are premium subscribers, keep an eye today on the trade feed, as we will be getting trade feed updates throughout the day as the levels do start to make entry. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope you have a great day. See you.